Whoa. Why is it doing that, dude? That was a weird transition. All right, guys. Happy Sunday. Happy February. Um, Hopefully everyone's having a good weekend so far. I know I am. We cashed 3 10x slips last night, or I guess yesterday. Appreciate you guys spending your Sunday afternoon with me. Let's hopefully get in some good slips. If you guys were in stream last night, I will go ahead and say this. I'll probably mention it once again, but if you were in the stream last night, we crafted up a better slip for 10x, and I checked it, and it came to my attention that we went 5 for 5, but they graded it wrong. So if you tailed this 5-leg entry, let me pull it up real quick for you guys to see. If you guys were in stream and you tailed this 5-leg entry, okay, this 5-leg right there, if you tailed that, contact the support team and they'll straighten you out. All right, they'll get you right. We took Ryan McLeod or McLeod or whatever you want to say under 0.5 points, and they scored him as he scored a point, but he never did. So they just ended up crediting my account with the difference. But anyways, we're going to do the usual. So if you're brand new to the stream, first off, welcome. I appreciate a follow if you guys have not followed already. We're going to craft slips for prize picks, underdog, better, sleeper if there's value. You know, anywhere that we have value, please use this opportunity. We'll probably be live for about an hour, right up until that first NBA game today. Please use this opportunity to ask questions, okay? And I'm not talking about the kind of questions of, what do you think this person's going to put up tonight? Like, how do you think about this prop? I want to know questions that you guys have about actually how to be profitable, right? So if there's any concepts that I talk about that you guys are not quite... Oh, there's an echo? Hold up. I appreciate y'all. Let me know. All right. Let me know if that's better. Hopefully that's a little bit better. Just let me know if there's no more echo. Anyways, I want to know questions as far as if there's a concept that I go over that you guys don't quite understand. Awesome. And no echo anymore? Cool. If there's something that you don't quite understand, ask, please. I'm going to try and break it down the easiest that I can, so that way you guys are able to understand that. Like most people, yes, I do have a Discord. There's free access that I've been literally just giving out left and right. So if you do want to come into the Dub Club and the Discord for a week for completely free, make some money with us, hopefully understand, just improve your knowledge a little bit. But I posted this on Twitter earlier. Guys, let today be your starting point, okay? So February 1st, make the change today. Tell yourself that you're going to stop being casual. Stop just saying, oh, it's just $5, it's just $10. Start making money on sports seriously and turn this into an investment and a nice stream of income, all right? Because it can be done. This is literally my full-time job. And before you ask, no, that is not just because of people subscribing to the Discord, okay? We are fully transparent. We make money off of the sports, okay? So let's go ahead and just jump right into it. If you have any questions whatsoever, let me know. First off, we're going to go over to prize picks. I'm going to be using this OddsJam Fantasy Optimizer. I highly suggest you guys check this out. You guys can use code Trident and get a 35% discount, okay? What's my Twitch? It is just Trident DFS. It's spelled exactly like this right here without the underscore. Perfect. Yeah. Somebody asked, can you explain the minimum 2 data points concept that you do? Great question, okay? When it comes to being profitable and trying to really just focus on making sure all of the props are within that threshold of being profitable, you don't want to just go off of 1 data point, okay? And the reason that is just because it's not reliable enough, okay? Because if I were to select just 1 minimum data point, then it could pull up something where it's just comparing a prize picks line to underdog, you know, and that 1 data point might not be the most reliable. So having at least 2 allows me to kind of narrow down the criteria. And obviously I like to go over and still check out the data points here, but you want to have at least 2 just to build that credibility. And, you know, on top of that, 3 data points is even better. Okay. All right. So we're going to have our 2 data points here. I'm going to go ahead and take out fantasy score and the combo props like I always do here on this fantasy optimizer. And then being here in Florida, I cannot play college basketball. So I'm going to take that out. Okay. And by the way, we're going to go over streaks as well if we have some good value pop up over on Underdog. Okay. What do I think about live plays? Absolutely. The biggest thing that I would recommend, okay? So this is something that I talk about if you guys do end up signing up for like the coaching that I do, and actually trying to walk you guys through how to build a good bankroll, and then what the best strategies are outside of just the positive EV on the DFS apps. When it comes to actually playing live plays, okay, for positive EV specifically, I like to personally only search or like sort or filter, whatever you want to call it, positive EV plays during a stoppage. Okay, so whenever it's like live in play, sometimes there can be a delay in when the odds update. So having that only on stoppage will typically allow for all of the odds to come through and really give you a good baseline as far as if that prop is actually good. Now, on the other hand, if you were to run live plays for arbitrage, that you can do whether it's in play or stoppage, whatever the case may be. And that's a whole concept that I can talk about at a different time. So I definitely highly suggest it though, because there's lots of value, especially on these, you know, new exchange markets like Kalshi and Polymarket. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna go ahead and build out a slip. We might have enough here for a 3-man power. So we're gonna go ahead and first go to the NBA first quarter tab. All right, and we're gonna lock in Igor Demon. I still don't know how to pronounce it. We'll just call him Igor. On the Brooklyn Nets, we're taking his under 3 points in the first quarter. All right, and then we're going to go back over to the NBA tab, and we're going to take Kobe White over 9.5 rebounds and assists. Okay, you guys can see this is minus 158 on FanDuel. Some books have this at 10.5. And then as our last prop here in this 3-pick power, we're going to take Derek White under 27.5 PRA. All right, we're going to go ahead and power that. Half a unit is going to pay out 3, so a 6x. And then we're going to get this posted over in the Discord. All right. Why are you guys not letting me submit this play? There we go. Cool. So once again, that's Igor over on the Brooklyn Nets. We are taking his under 3 first quarter points. We have under 27.5 PRA for Derek White. And then Kobe White, we are taking over 9.5 rebounds and assists. All right, so that's a 3-pick power. Remember, guys, the 2 best slips that I always run are slip types. 5-pick flexes are the most optimal to run on Prize Picks. And then other than that, I would recommend running 3-pick powers, only if there is enough value, okay? So that right there, just, you know, nothing crazy, just over 1% positive EV. But like I say before, we're kind of scraping the best of the best value into a smaller parlay, a little bit easier to hit as well, okay? Diomen, interesting. I might just keep calling him Igor. All right, let's run a 5-pick flex now on Prize Picks. All right, so this is going to pay out 10x. And guys, if you're watching right now on TikTok, you can go over to either YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch, and you'll be able to watch my whole screen. So that way it's a little bit easier probably for you guys to get in some slips. All right. 5-pick flex. Here we go. Yeah, we'll get to better. We're just running through everything. First leg here, we're going to start with NBA. We're going to go to Peyton Watson, taking his under 25 PRA. Okay, under 25 PRA. Then let's go over to the Pistons game where we are going to take Jaden Ivey over 11.5 PRA. All right, we're going to go to the Spurs game, and we're going to take Stephon Castle under 21.5 points and rebounds. Then we're going to go to the Trailblazers game and take Denny Avdia over 34.5 PRA. And then let's go back over to the NBA first quarter tab. And we're going to take Devin Vassell under 3.5 first quarter points. All right, that's going to be run as a 5-pick flex to pay out 10x our money. I'm going to get this sent out to the Discord. Make sure you guys are over in the Discord, by the way. Even if you don't feel like joining the Dub Club, first off, there is a free trial that you can sign up for to check it out for a week. But also, if you are just a Discord member, okay, completely free to join, all of the promo slips, whether it be a profit boost on Sleeper or Taco Tuesday, all of those slips get sent out for free, okay? So definitely get in the Discord. You guys can go to tridentdfs.com. And I'm going to go ahead and repeat this back to you guys. So this is a 10x on Prize Picks, half a unit, okay? First leg, we took Peyton Watson under 25 PRA. Then we took Jaden Ivey over 11.5 PRA. We're taking Stephon Castle under 21.5 points and rebounds. Then we have Denny Avdia over 34.5 PRA. And then finally, Devin Vassell under 3.5 first quarter points. All right, that is a 5.41% positive EV play. All right. Cool. Should be able to get one more 10x in. Do I usually look at who's questionable and avoid games because of the possible line movement? Typically, I may look at that information whenever I'm doing like straights on sports books. However, with DFS, there's so many lines that are obviously going to shift throughout the day that for the most part, I know that I'm going to be beating closing line value on the majority of the props. And the only thing I can do is if somebody ends up getting listed out or injured or whatever the case may be, then I'll just end up taking whatever value pulls up on props that I don't already have in that game, if that makes sense. Okay. How come the chance to hit are always low? What are you referring to? Where it says chance to hit? It's just a type of parlay. Obviously, it's going to have a lower chance to hit than a 2-pick power, but you still have to consider the profitability of each prop. Okay. All right. Next prop we are going to do is to start our 5-pick flex. We're going to take Michael Bridges under 4 assists, and they bumped that. Let's take Kyle Kuzma under 10.5 rebounds and assists. Okay, that'll be our first prop. Kyle Kuzma under... Am I blind? Where's this at? 10.5 rebounds. Oh, they bumped that as... No, they didn't. Just got to scroll for it. There it is. All right, Kyle Kuzma under 10.5 rebounds and assists. All right, then we're going to take Andrew Wiggins. We're going to go under 8 rebounds and assists. Okay. We're going to go to the Spurs game. We're going to take Julian Champagny under 10 points. All right. Let's also go take Brooke Lopez for under 8.5 points and rebounds. And then, what do we want to do here? Let's take De'Aaron Fox. We're going to go under 6 assists. All right. I like that. Half a unit there is going to pay out 5 units total. 10x right there. Yeah, Michael, Macau, whatever, however you want to pronounce it. I don't care. Doesn't change the pick that we're taking. You guys know who I'm talking about. Tennis definitely does have some value, I will say. All right, I'm going to repeat this back to you guys. Make sure you get it in. Half unit here on Prize Picks 10x. All right, Kyle Kuzma under 10.5 rebounds and assists. Then we have Andrew Wiggins under 8 rebounds and assists. All right. Then we've got Champagny. Hopefully that's how you pronounce that as well. On the Spurs, under 10 points. Taking Brooke Lopez under 8.5 points and rebounds. And then finally, De'Aaron Fox under 6 assists. All right. That's a 4.07% positive EV play. Cool. Are these off research or hate watch? Neither. It's just math. Okay. It's just math. We might be able to squeeze out one more slip there on Prize Picks. I'm just going to move on to the next one, though. By the way, did anyone in here get the streak extender play with Xavier Lee on the Florida Gators over 9.5 points? He drove to the basket twice. He's got 4 points right now. Second half just started, but he has bricked 2 threes. Kind of need those threes to start going in. Somebody asked how confident you are. Guys, please don't tell people that have confidence in their slips, right? Or give you a confidence level, okay? Confidence has no place in picking sports props at all, okay? Just stick with the math, all right? Question, why skip over Klingon there? Good question. So for me, I personally don't like to have a ton of props that have push potential, meaning whole numbers. So the fact that we already have Wiggins and Champagny, and then we also threw in Fox, like, it's a lot, because although there are value on those, you could have 2 of those guys push, and then we turn a 5-pick flex into a 3-pick flex, you know? You have no algorithm? All right, I'm going to assume that you're brand new to the stream, so this is a good opportunity to try and hear what I'm about to say, okay? There's no point in spending hours of your day doing research that the sportsbooks have done for you, okay? So everyone who's in here right now, I'm assuming, is on PrizePicks, right? PrizePicks is a fixed payout app, meaning no matter if you take an under or an over or an under, your payout stays the same. So what you can do is you can figure out what those odds are that are associated with each of these legs, right? So behind me, you see a 5-pick flex. This is the most optimal slip type on PrizePicks. Each of these legs has implied odds of -119, all right? So what you can do is you leverage the sportsbook data, you leverage the odds, okay, and you find props that have high value on the sports books, and then you can toss them in slips like this. No confidence is needed, no algorithm, no model, right? The sportsbook is there to help you. Even though house always wins, leverage the sportsbook data, okay? On pick 4 of streak, yeah, everything will pull up here. I'm gonna take off esports because I know everyone hates esports. Xavier Lee just bricked another shot. What are we doing, dude? Yeah, Underdog has like nothing right now. It's like no value on Underdog. Oh, did he get fouled? Oh, I bet Chinyelu did. Chinyelu? Dude's a dog. Sleeper 100%. We got another boost today on Sleeper. Let me check it out. Do we? Oh, we do. 5-leg 100% boost. Okay, we'll definitely go over that. If you guys aren't already on Sleeper, use code Trident when you get over there. All right, 100% profit boost is huge. No, good question. Okay, I made a video about this. So someone asked, so if a prop is -119 or higher on other sports books, you take them on PrizePicks? No, and the reason for that is you have to understand that sports books have what's called juice or vig. Okay, it's essentially their way of making money. So they charge, it's like a fee on top of what an actual prop is worth. So what you could do is you could go on these sports books and try and de-vig every single prop. What I always go by is that 99% of the time, in order to find a profitable prop for a 5-pick flex, you have to have sportsbook odds, double-sided odds, meaning that there's an odd for one side and then an odd for the other side. Not just like the soccer props where it's like 2+ shots and then it just gives you one number. You have to have double-sided odds of -138 or better to account for that vig or the juice that they charge, okay? All right, Underdog doesn't look like there's a ton of value here. So I'm just going to go over to Better. All right. Guys, Better has so much value all the time. Okay? Get over on Better. Cool. All right. Let's go over to Better. Let's get in some more slips here. Can I do the Better discount slips? I typically don't do the Better discount slips just because they cap at $10, I believe. But like I always say on stream, if you want to run a discount, whatever the last prop that I put in on a slip, which is typically the lowest value out of that slip, throw in the discount prop. Okay? That's how I would approach it if you're in here and you want to do that. Okay? Yeah, I'll do the 100% boost on Sleeper. We'll take a look at that for sure. Okay? All right. We're going to get our minimum 2 data points here. Okay, you guys ready? Let's run it. All right, 5-pick flex on Better. Okay, if you're brand new to stream, you probably never heard me say this before. If you have been in stream, you will hear me say it 1,000 times over. Okay, if you are in here, do not take props on other books or apps. All right, because the apps that I'm telling you to take them on, I'm telling you for a reason. Okay, Don't be the person who tries to tail a slip and ends up with, 4 goblins on prize picks, okay? So we're building out a 5-pick flex. First leg, we're taking Triple J, all right, on Miami Heat. Jaquez Jr., under 5.5 rebounds, all right? Peyton Watson, under 7.5 rebounds and assists for the Nuggets. Then we're going to take RJ Barrett, under 27.5 PRA. Okay. Fourth leg here, we're going to take Bobby Portis, over 11.5 rebounds and assists. And then finally, we're going to take Azar Thompson, and we're going to take him over 7.5 rebounds and assists. All right. If you guys tailed the streak play, Xavier Lee is at 6 points. He needs 4 more. Okay. 4 more points for Xavier Lee. There's 16 minutes left in this game. All right. So we're going to get this in. This is going to be a 5-pick flex over on Better. All right. I go too fast. Sorry, dude. Unfortunately, being profitable and taking advantage of positive EV props is about speed and timing, okay? If it would be easier to just click the link and tail, that's what the Discord is for. All right? So, once again, we are on Better. This is a 10x play, 5-pick insured or flex, whatever you want to call it. All right? First leg we are taking here. All right? Triple J on the Miami Heat, under 5.5 rebounds. Okay? Second leg, we've got Peyton Watson, under 7.5 rebounds and assists. Third leg, RJ Barrett, under 27.5 PRA. Fourth leg, Bobby Portis, over 11.5 rebounds and assists. And then finally, Azar Thompson, over 7.5 rebounds and assists. Okay, this is a 10.65% positive EV play. All right. How many streak plays do I have open right now? We have 2 active streaks, and then I've got an open spot to start another one. So we'll see. All right. That's the Better play. Going on to the next. Okay, you guys can see there's a ton of value. All right, tons of value. Let's start off the next one. All right, here we go. Jalen Green on the Suns. All right, Jalen Green. We're taking the under 12.5 points for Jalen Green. Okay. Second leg, we have Robert Williams, over 6.5 rebounds. Third leg, we're taking Luka, over 7.5 assists. Okay. Fourth leg, we are taking Dosunmu, over 4.5 assists. And then finally, we're going to add Chris Middleton, over 7.5 rebounds and assists. Okay, that's the 5-pick there. Flex it, half a unit, get it in. Xavier Lee has missed another layup. What are we doing? How are you breaking layups, bro? All right, so once again, just to go over that real quick for you guys. Jalen Green, under 12.5 points. Robert Williams, over 6.5 rebounds. Luka, over 7.5 assists. Dosunmu, over 4.5 assists. And then Chris Middleton, over 7.5 rebounds and assists. Xavier Lee is pissing me off. He just bricked a layup and then bricked another 3. He's currently 3 for 10. He's shooting 30% right now. Figure it out, bro. Gosh. All right, everyone get that in. I'm going to show you guys. I can go over here on OddsJam. Just select the ones that I just added to the slip. Let them know that we are flexing this. And then it'll show you right there, 6.85% positive EV. Okay. Doing a flex just for it to still chalk, you might as well go all in. Brian, great point, except you're wrong on the math, okay? A lot of people underestimate the amount of 3 for 5s and 4 for 5s that you'll run into, and all that extra profit that comes back in, or all that extra money, all right, it adds up. And I can guarantee you that it makes you more money than if you were to just power play everything, okay? Trusting college players is so hard. Yeah, and I think it pisses me off more because, like, I understand that college players typically shoot a lower, percentage from the field than, like, NBA. But, like, seeing these guys just freaking go 30% from the field is, like, it's horrible. Especially, like, because I understood like Xavier shoots threes pretty much. He's like a 3-point shooter. Thankfully, he's got a couple layups, but now he's like missing layups as well, you know? So, yeah, it's bad. It's all right, though. I'm not watching the game other than just on Reel, so I don't know. He's probably going to get subbed out and then put back in. There's still 15 minutes left. We just need him to make, either 2 more layups or just make a 3 and draw a foul somewhere. So, all right, let's get on to our next slip, guys. On to the next one. And like I said, we're going to go over Sleeper in a second. We're just getting through all these apps. If you guys are here in the stream and you have not already followed, please make sure to do so. I would greatly appreciate it. All right, we've got more value here on Better, so let's go ahead and fire off another slip. Okay. What's my strategy on how much I put on these and stay profitable? So with DFS apps, I literally will put half a unit on everything, no matter if it's a 1% positive EV play or a 25% positive EV play, because even though you are getting amazing value, you will never be able to fully understand the fact that, like, yes, the 20% positive EV play could miss while the 1% hits, right? So there's no point in me trying to put more than I want to just because I'm confident in the numbers, right? So like, I would just say half unit on everything. If you're getting positive EV on every slip, you know, it's gonna work itself out, right? So that's always what my recommendation is. Let's go ahead and start the next 5-pick flex here on Better. We're gonna take Neemias Queta. I hope I pronounced that right. On the Celtics, over 9.5 rebounds and assists tonight versus the Bucks. Then we are going to go take... I'm going to skip over some of the Super Bowl props for now. We're going to take DeAndre Ayton over 7.5 rebounds and assists. Okay. Jaylen Brown, we are going to take over... Let me see. What did we just take for Queta? I don't know if I want to double up rebounds and assists there. Let's go take Shaedon Sharpe. Okay, we're going to take Shaedon Sharpe under 2.5 3-pointers. And then we're going to take Colin Murray-Boyles over 20.5 PRA. And then for the final leg, we're going to take Luka Garza. And we're going to take his over 7.5 points. Okay. Over 7.5 points for Luka Garza. And flex that. And yeah, the reason why I say half a unit, you know, it really is just staying disciplined to having good bankroll management. And I'm sure you guys will always see, you know, there's people on Twitter or TikTok where they're like, you know, this is my 5-unit lock or whatever they say, you know, like when nothing is ever guaranteed, there's no point in putting more on a prop because of your confidence level in it. Everyone has been through the process of having confidence in a certain pick, thinking it's going to certainly hit 100%, and then the prop misses, you know? All right, so once again, that 10x right there on Better, we are taking Neemias Queta over 9.5 rebounds and assists, Luka Garza over 7.5 points, DeAndre Ayton over 7.5 rebounds and assists, Shaedon Sharpe under 2.5 3-pointers made, and then Colin Murray-Boyles over 20.5 PRA. All right. Let me make sure I get all of that in. Shaded in. And 4.28% there on that play. What is the equivalent for a half a unit? Okay, so units are... I've always talked about units as 1% of your bankroll. Okay, so whatever money you have set aside to invest on sports, okay, 1% of that is considered 1 unit. So then half of a unit would be 0.5%. Okay. How many units were up in January? I got to still do all, you know, I know it's February 1st. I have to do the math. We have a ton of slips that are pending right now for the Super Bowl, which I typically like to incorporate those numbers into when the slip was placed, just because that's how it's all tracked. But obviously those numbers will get released. We do have a daily tracker though in the Discord that you guys can check out. Let's see.
What did I miss over here? Thank you, Pyro, for answering that question. I appreciate it. If you guys need the links for all these, they're dropping in the Discord right now, okay? All dropping in the Discord. Jeez, dude. Florida is up by 23 points right now. Hopefully they just throw Xavier back in there so he can just fire away threes. Is there any underdog value right now? I keep checking, guys. There's really not that much unless y'all are freaking hungry for some esports. Let's see here. Three man. Yeah, there's really not anything. I'll keep checking on it, but I mean, maybe we could possibly get something in, actually. What are y'all looking for, though, exactly on underdog? What are you guys looking for? Brandon, what's up, dude? Yeah, there might be just enough for an underdog slip. I'm not going to force that just yet, though. Okay, we're going to keep it moving. I already sent out stuff for Novig. Let's check out Sleeper. Okay. Let's check out Sleeper real quick. All right, we've got a 5-leg NBA 100% profit boost. Okay. Let's see here. Jeez, we do have people down for esports. That's crazy. All right, let me check these odds here. Maybe get a minimum of minus 250. And the nice part about this is that you guys can go ahead and talk with me on the sleeper stuff, because 100% profit boost is ridiculous, right? No matter what slip we take, it's going to be positive EV, and it's going to be a good slip. So with that said, a prop that I see here that I really like and I would love to throw in here if everyone is cool with it, okay? Remember, we're on sleeper. Do not try to take this anywhere else. And this is only if you have a profit boost, okay? So, first leg here that I love is for Scotty Barnes to hit a 3, all right? Do you guys think that Scotty hits a 3, right? And I know I asked that, and I know I always say don't speculate, don't let your own opinions, but if we look at this right here, Sleeper has this at minus 169, and you guys can see these other data points, minus 184 on FanDuel, minus 201 on DraftKings. It's a good prop, okay? So I'm going to add this to our slip. So once again, that is Scotty Barnes to hit a three-pointer, 1.58x. All right, will be our first leg there for Scotty. Second leg, I'm going to go over to the Bulls game. All right, and we're going to take Buzelis to go under 2.5 three-pointers made at 1.55x. All right. You guys can see right there, minus 182 on Sleeper. Get some, little bit of value there. Obviously, the 100% profit boost adds more to that. Third prop here, we're going to take Jaylen Brown over 1.5 three-pointers made. And if you're wondering, I don't make the rules. Sleeper sometimes allows for more value than others, especially on the three-pointers made category. Okay. So once again, we have three so far. We've got Scotty Barnes to make a 3. Buzelis under 2.5 three-pointers made, and then Jaylen Brown over 1.5 three-pointers made. On to the next prop. It's also going to be a three-pointer prop. We're going to take Marcus Smart under 1.5 three-pointers made at 1.58x. And then what should we do for our final prop, okay? And I'm very, you guys see all these data points here. So, these are certainly backed up, right? Let's see. We could do... I feel like everyone would hate this if I took Luka under a double-double. Y'all would hate that prop. We could take Peyton Watson over 4.5 rebounds. We could do that. Y'all want to run with that? Peyton Watson over 4.5 rebounds. It's listed at minus 175 on Sleeper. Pretty much the same as FanDuel. Minus 185, though, on BetMGM. I think we could run with that. Let's refresh this. Let's see. Let me also check. I'm going to look at the sharp money to see if we've got any crazy like sharp money plays that we could take. He's at 5.5. They might have taken him off then. Might have updated his line. Let me check. I'm going to look at this low hold real quick. Luka over Watson, especially if Reeves plays. But you haven't seen the popular tab? You haven't seen everybody talking about Luka going over? All right, let's check this real quick. I'm going to look for NBA. We're going to see what this low hold shows. We want to have something with decent odds, right? So we also want to see good data points. So like minus 175 here is crazy tax. Crazy tax. We can go with another 3-pointer prop here. What about this one? What do we think about Jokic going under PRA? I don't know if I like that. Let's see here. What should we go with, guys? What should we go with? I'm trying to look for some decent data points for us to back up something here. Not seeing a whole bunch outside of the 5-leg we already have. Like I want to see a data point from like FanDuel. There's the Buzelis prop, which we obviously have in our slip. There's just not enough liquidity on these exchange markets. Minus 108 on FanDuel. Not a fan of that. Marcus Smart under. All right, we're trying to figure this out, guys. So just to give you guys a recap real quick of what we have, I think they changed the payout on somebody here. I think it might have been, I don't know who it is yet, but they did change the payout on somebody. We've got Scotty over half a 3-pointer made, Scotty Barnes. Then we've got Buzelis under 2.5 3-pointers made. Then we have Jaylen Brown over 1.5 3-pointers made. And then we have Marcus Smart under 1.5 3-pointers made. How do you join? Discord, you can go over on X or tridentdfs.com. What do we want to do here, guys? This is the question. What do we want to do? All right. Had a little bit of pushback from Peyton Watson. Some people want to take the Luka under half a double-double. Okay. Line movement in the Spurs game might be some underdog value. Okay. I'll check that out in just a second once we get this locked in. You know what? Something just got bumped like crazy. This thing went from a 6-point something down to a 5.61%. Or 5.61x. Let's leave Sleeper for now. I am going to go check out other apps. Let's see what we have. Is your Discord free? Yes, it's free to join. Show me freaking Xavier Lee on the court, please. This dude is 3 for 11 now. They're up 20 points, bro. Just let him shoot. Just let him shoot. Sport. Esport League. Might be a stretch. Let's try and get us something in here just because there might be a sharp money prop that we can add. How do you join the Discord? Go to tridentdfs.com. Okay. Trident DFS. All right, first leg, we're on underdog. We're doing a 6-leg, okay? First leg we are taking is Andrei Stojakovic, over 21.5 PRA on Illinois. Then we are going to take Isaiah Collier on the Jazz. We're going under 11.5 rebounds and assists. Then we're going to take Brandon Ingram. We're taking the under 27.5 points and assists. Then we're going to take the under 18.5 PRA for Sam Merrill. Then we are going to take the over 15.5 points for Peyton Watson. And yes, I will repeat all these back to you guys. And then we're going to take Chris Middleton. We're going to take Chris Middleton under 20.5 PRA. Okay? Under 20.5 PRA. Don't do this to me now. Please. Please, underdog. Why is this happening? Gosh. 25. Boom. There it is. All right. So once again, we're taking Stojakovic over 21.5 PRA. Then we have Isaiah Collier under 11.5 rebounds and assists. Brandon Ingram under 27.5 points and assists. Then we are taking Sam Merrill under 18.5 PRA. We're taking Peyton Watson over 15.5 points. And then we have Chris Middleton under 20.5 PRA. Cool. Everyone got that in? That is a 5.65% positive EV play. All right. Go ahead and get that tracked. All right, let's go back over to Sleeper. Let's go back over to Sleeper. We want minimum odds of minus 250. Okay. Okay, yeah, so they changed up some of these. All right, I'm going back over to Sleeper, guys. I'm taking out Scotty. They've shifted his odds a ton. Taking out Buzelis. I'm keeping in Jaylen Brown over 1.5 3-pointers made and Marcus Smart under 1.5 3-pointers made. What are our thoughts on Bruce Brown over 12.5 PRA? Same odds as BetMGM. Some of you guys like bankroll builders, though, and these would not be considered bankroll builders at just minus 120-ish. It might be something we need to hold off on, is what I'm getting at. Where are the plays at in the Discord? Go to the official Slips channel. If you don't see that, I would advise you to go into the Getting Started channel and getting things connected. All right. Let's see. Boyle's under 2.5 stocks. What you got for prize picks? We already went over prize picks already. I would suggest getting in the Discord to check out what we've gone over. If there's more value, we'll put together some more plays in just a little bit. What about Cade? I actually don't mind that prop. Let's go with this, guys. Let's go to the Nets game. We're on Sleeper right now. We're trying to build out a slip for this profit boost. Let's go to the Nets game, and let's take Cade Cunningham over 4.5 rebounds at 1.64x. Okay? I like that prop. And then we need 2 more legs here. Let's take... That's 128. Let's see. Refresh these. Let's go with... Ooh, that's a good prop. Let's go with Stephon Castle. All right, we're going to take Stephon Castle under 24.5 points and assists. Okay. Under 24.5 points and assists at 1.61x. And then finally, let's go take, in the same game, let's go take Champagne under 2.5 rebounds. And then add your boost to that. Should pay out 10.34x and then add the boost. I like that a lot. I'm rolling with that, guys. I just went ahead and submitted that. So for me, I'm seeing $30. If you were to max that out, $30 is going to pay out $5.90. Okay? $30 pays out $5.90 there. Once again, that is, if you guys are not on Sleeper, you can sign up with code Trident. If you want to get this in, though, we've got Jaylen Brown over 1.5 3-pointers made. Then we have Champagne. We've got under 2.5 3-pointers made for him. We're taking Stephon Castle under 24.5 points and assists. Cade Cunningham over 4.5 rebounds. And then Marcus Smart under 1.5 3-pointers made. All right. There it is for those of you on stream. That's what we're going to take. I love that play in terms of the odds that we're actually getting on that. Make sure you guys lock that in. That is an extremely good value play. All right. Do not play that anywhere else. Or if you don't have the profit boost, don't play that. Okay. Hopefully everyone's cool with that. So once again, if you're on TikTok, this is for Sleeper. We're taking Jaylen Brown over 1.5 3-pointers made. Champagne under 2.5 3-pointers made for the Spurs. Stephon Castle under 24.5 points and assists. Cade Cunningham over 4.5 rebounds. And then Marcus Smart under 1.5 3-pointers made. You need one more. Smart got removed. I would take Tristan da Silva on the Magic to make a 3-pointer. Lee just got benched after his 3rd foul. Why are we benching him, bro? Y'all are up 20 points. That sucks. There's 7 minutes left. We need him out there on the floor shooting threes, bro. That was like a 60% play, too. What are my thoughts on taking contradicting plays? So, like, negatively correlated? Oh, okay. Never mind. For example, taking an under on PRA and an over on points and rebounds. So, the main thing that I would say with that is I definitely don't like overexposing on those type of plays. So, like, you won't see me, take the over on points and rebounds on, like, 3 different slips and then the under on PRA on 2 other slips. Like, if anything, there'll be one slip that would have contradicting plays like that. However, I would never, at least I don't intentionally, I would never take contradicting props in the sense where, like, there's not a good range of stat lines that both can cash. If that makes sense. All right. Good question. Thanks for spending your Sunday with us, Goat. Yeah, man, I after church, I was like, you know what? It's freaking cold outside, and we've got a decent slate of games, so you know what? Might as well go live. Give the people what they want. There's nothing better than being able to cash with you guys, Being profitable and, like, cashing your own slips is, like, nice, but, like, being able to have other people also cash on those same slips is a different kind of good feeling. So, can't wait till Champagne laces 3 threes in the first 6 minutes. Hey, that's how it is sometimes. Is Sleeper only available on mobile app? So on the website, I think Sleeper's website is strictly for, like, the fantasy side of things. However, for me, I run on a Mac Mini, so it still runs on, like, the Apple operating system. And on the App Store, I can download it, so I could pull it up, like the actual app on my computer. Now, if you're on, like, a Microsoft one, I'm not sure if you'd be able to do that. I've been winning more ever since taking your plays, and I started a month now. Even if some plays lose, it's always by 1 or 2. I appreciate that. I appreciate the feedback. It's always nice seeing people's perspectives changing, understanding how to actually be profitable. And that's the main message, always trying to just reach one more person to stop donating to these books, All right. I better see Xavier Lee on the floor shooting some threes and splashing them. All right, everyone's asking for prize picks. I'll go back to prize picks, guys. We'll see if there's any value over here. This Devin Vassell prop is nuts right now. It's probably removed, though. Go ahead and, if you're on prize picks right now, see if Devin Vassell is available at 18.5 PRA. It is. Oh my gosh. Do we have enough here? We don't have enough for a 3-pick power, but let me see if I can get something in real quick before they bump this. They're going to take this down. Yeah. There's the bump. There's the bump to 20.5. Guys, I need you guys to understand that when you are in my live streams and you guys see that plays are getting bumped, there is not a prize picks employee in here who is actively watching stream bumping the props that I'm telling you guys to take, okay? I can guarantee you there's nobody in here that's doing that. Plays get bumped because prize picks is trying to reflect their odds as close to the sports books as possible. And if they have valuable props on the board, they want to remove those. That's why I always say it's a constant battle. As I'm trying to get value, prize picks is trying to remove it. Okay? Some of you guys will spend hours out of your day in other people's lives here on TikTok where, and I talk about this all the time, there's like a little 2-man parlay, which is already not a profitable thing, but there's like a 2-man power in the corner of their stream, and the props will not be bumped for the entire duration of their hour-long stream. So you guys need to start asking yourselves why that is. It's because those 2 plays don't have value. It's very simple, okay? It's literally that simple. Let's see if we can still get something in here, though. So go ahead and take out Vassell. Obviously, we're not taking the bump because there's no props or no value in that prop. Let's see. Just introducing the concept of comparing value amongst apps made me profitable. I used to be a prize picks goblin only guy. Yeah, guys, please don't take goblins or demons. And it's sad that our popular page, our popular tab is just infested with them. Do not take those guys. They're not profitable. Okay? So we've got our 2 data points here. We might be able to get something. I see a lot of duplicate players here. Let me see. Let me take out college basketball, obviously. All right, so if you didn't hear, we're on Prize Picks right now. We're going to build out a 5-pick flex. Here's a good example of what somebody was just mentioning about the conflicting props. I know we took Luka Garza over 7.5 points, I believe. We're taking first leg here. We're taking Luka Garza under... No, we're not. They bumped his prop. Never mind. Let's go take Kevin Huerter on the Bulls under 19.5 PRA. Right? Oh, here's Brian. Brian's still in the chat, guys. This is what Brian just said, okay? I've seen lines get bumped down by 5 or 6, and they still go over, so you don't know anything, okay? Brian, I'm not telling you that just because a line gets bumped means that that is the direction in which the prop is going to hit or not hit, okay? Not saying that whatsoever. We're talking about value. A lot of people have this like twisted version of what value truly is, okay? Some people go to the some people go to the popular tab and they say that somebody's last 5 graph is all green, and therefore there's value on it because Prize Picks has the line wrong. That's not what value is, okay? A lot of people determine value based off of the result of the play as well, when value can be determined before the player ever steps foot on the court. And, all right, this will be the last response you get from me. Brian then just said that I'm flexing and that I'm not confident in my picks because I don't go all in, all right? It's called bankroll management, my friend, all right? You got to learn that. It's called bankroll management. Going all in on all of your parlays is not something that will make you profitable, okay? All right, so anyways, we're going to take Kevin Huerter under 19.5 PRA as our first leg. We are going to grab Stephon Castle over 4.5 rebounds. All right, some nice data points there. Then we are going to take... let's go with Mitchell Robinson under 9 rebounds versus the Lakers. Then let's go take Igor on the Nets. We're going to take his under 10.5 points. And then for our final leg, let's go take Zubac on the Clippers under 16.5 points and assists. Okay. Go ahead and lock that in. Half a unit, 10x. Flex. All right. Lee still isn't in the game with 5 minutes left. That is going to break my heart. I think a lot of people thought that game would be closer. I know the books did at least. I watched a little bit of the first half, and the Gators were looking like flawless on defense at least. There was a stat at halftime. They said that out of the entire first half, the Gators did not turn the ball over once. And then they were just looking amazing on defense. Okay, so this is a 10x on Prize Picks. Go ahead and flex this. All right, Kevin Huerter under 19.5 PRA. Then we are taking Stephon Castle over 4.5 rebounds. We have Mitchell Robinson under 9 rebounds. We are taking Igor Dieman, or Dioman, whatever it is, under 10.5 points on the Nets. And then we are taking Zubac on the Clippers under 16.5 points and assists, guys. Flex that. That is going to be a 2.19% positive EV play. Not crazy value, but still a positive EV slip, which will result in a positive ROI over time. All right, we've been live for an hour. Let's try and get a couple more plays in before I end up hopping off. We got like 6 minutes until the game starts. Timeout Gators. You guys are up by 21. How about you go throw your starting guard back out there to splash a couple threes for us? Why don't you? The first pick there was Kevin Huerter under 19.5 PRA on the Bulls. Yeah, Alabama looks awful, bro. All right, let's check underdog again. The first one was Kevin Huerter on the Bulls under 19.5 PRA. Last prop was Zubac under 16.5 points and assists. Okay. Another better slip. I'll take a look. I know y'all like the better slips, and I understand why, because the value is that good. All right. I'm going to pass on underdog for now. Okay? I'm going to pass on underdog. We'll go over to better. If my picks were good, my Discord wouldn't be free. So let me go over what the Discord is once again. The Discord is free to join. Okay, as a free member, you guys get access to all of the slips that I post for profit boost, promos, discounts, that sort of thing. If you want the type of slips that I'm posting right now on the stream, that would be a paid subscription, okay, for a month or a week or whatever you want to feel comfortable with. Whatever you need is a good sample size to determine the profitability, right? Also, on top of that, you have a separate tier, if you would prefer, where I can actually coach you on how to properly make money with your specific bankroll and where you live to determine what sports books and apps you have access to. All right, cool. Let's go over to better. All right. Let's go over to better. All right. First leg here, we're going to the NBA. We're going to take Cam Thomas over 15.5 points and rebounds. All right, over 15.5 points and rebounds. Then we are going to go over to the Bulls game to take Dosunmu over 8.5 rebounds and assists. The third leg we're going to add is going to be Wendell Carter Jr. over 18.5 points and rebounds. All right, then we have Nikola Jokic. We're going to take his under 0.5 blocks. And then final leg here, we're going to take DeAndre Ayton over 9.5 points. Okay. Make sure I use my better bucks here. All right. Once again, that's going to be a 10x on better. Half a unit here. First leg, we are taking Cam Thomas over 15.5 points and rebounds. Second leg, we have Dosunmu over 8.5 rebounds and assists. Then we have Wendell Carter Jr. over 18.5 points and rebounds. We also have Jokic under half a block. And then DeAndre Ayton over 9.5 points. In the Discord, why do you put picks from Novig and Sleeper in the member slips and all others in the official plays? It is because for promos, the member slips channel is open to like all free members, not just the paid members. And I also don't track those. You'll see that there's a tag there for unofficial, because even when I say half a unit on a slip, for the promos at least, some people can't put half a unit. So it would interfere with the proper tracking in units at least. All right, so Ayton, Jokic, Wendell Carter Jr. What did we took? We took up here Dosunmu and Cam Thomas. All right, so that slip right there is an 11.14% positive EV play. Great value on that slip. All right. Looks like our boy Xavier Lee is still not on the court, so that's unfortunate. I don't think I expected a blowout in the Florida versus Alabama game. A little bit ridiculous. All right, guys. What else do we want to get in before we hop off? NBA is about to start. What else do you guys want? Drop it in the chat now. If you have a slip that you want, or if you have a question about what I've gone over, let me know. Okay? Underdog does not have value at the moment, unfortunately. Okay, I apologize. There's no value on underdog at the moment. Dosunmu, we took the over, I believe it was 8.5. Yeah, 8.5 rebounds and assists on better. What's my favorite NBA slip for today? I don't play favorites, okay? If you wanted to determine a favorite slip, I guess I could go by the highest positive EV percentage. However, I don't have that direct information. And if I were to give you the highest EV percentage that I've dropped already, it most likely is already bumped. Okay. Streak extender, PGA. PGA is already going on. There was not any value last night when I checked. I don't know if PrizePicks just decided to not put up that many props for the birdies or better matchups. There was like 4 options last night though. Not enough for a streak extender right now, guys. I'd love to add something, but I am not going to force any value. Jalen Green just got listed out. Did we play him in anything on Prize Picks? No, we did not. Okay, that's unfortunate for the other one, though. Let's see. I know you posted NBA and NHL. I don't know if you did college basketball. For what, Sleeper? I didn't see a college basketball promo. Is there a profit boost for college basketball? I just have some discounted picks on Sleeper. You have to learn to take numbers and not player names or teams. Absolutely. Absolutely. Bankroll builder. I don't have a nice profit boost right now for a good bankroll builder, I would say. Oh, Novig. I can look at Novig real quick. I do have college basketball. That's right. I looked at college basketball earlier and I didn't see a lot of value. That might have changed though. So let's see. So guys, go over to Novig. Novig should be available in most states. So if you do want to sign up for Novig, use code Trident. Another app that gives out a ton of profit boosts, similar to Sleeper. We're going to try and use this profit boost on something here for college basketball if we have enough liquidity on these props. Just kidding. There's not any value at all right now. I'll have to look later to see. Do I prefer cross market or plus EV? I honestly don't have a favorite right now. I run both. Kind of allows me to get a ton of volume in. I'm going to try to get out a Novig slip later, though, for this college basketball profit boost. Okay. But with that said, we should have NBA starting up pretty soon. So once again, guys, if you're not already following, please do so. And also turn on post notifications or live notifications, whatever. Because I am pretty much going live every single day to craft up slips with you guys. If you do want to get in the Discord, like I said, wherever you are watching, there should be a link in the bio. But if not, tridentdfs.com. Easiest way to get in. Okay, tridentdfs.com. I appreciate all of you guys for being here today. Hopefully we can cash another slip that we crafted here on stream. Remember, there's going to be good days. There's going to be bad days. You got to let the math work itself out. Okay? Thank you guys for being here. I will see you either later tonight if I somehow go live once again or tomorrow midday. Peace out, guys.
Take your pictures, taking all the shot of